when I finally became sexually active, I was living with my dad's girlfriend at the time, and she would never ever be at home. Like she would work the night shift, and then she would go and stay with my dad after she had gotten off from work. So it was like, I was home alone. Other than with her, like her two kids were there too, but they were much younger. So he actually lived right in the apartment, like behind. You can go out of my back door and go into his back door. So it was like easy access. So it was like he would sneak over and come over and whatever we have sex, and I ended up getting pregnant. He had a girlfriend at the time, so when I told him I was pregnant, like I don't remember being happy, but I don't remember being sad. I just remember telling him, and like maybe the next day or so, I had gotten off the bus, and he had came over. So I guess he had talked to his girlfriend, and he had asked me to get an abortion. So I think that right there was like, it kind of, that's what made me sad most of it, out of everything. Like that's when I was feeling like, because I didn't want to get an abortion, of course. I thought I was in love. It was puppy love. I wasn't in love with him. Sorry about the airplane, y'all. But yeah, it kind of I was just going through a lot at the time, because I had already been through so much, and like having a baby, being a teen mom and stuff like that, it was a lot to think about. My sister had already had a baby, my cousin had just had a baby, and it was like, here I am now, I'm about to have a baby, and to not have the father, his full support. Like it was like, after that, to me, it was like our relationship was just about sex, because I don't, he would, of course, boys tell you stuff to get what they want. So back then he was telling me that he wanted to be with me. He was going to leave his girlfriend. He really didn't want to be with her. All of the things that they say to get what they want, to keep you sticking around. And, me, I went ahead after I had my baby. I went ahead and I started dating, and that's when I started really getting into a relationship with my first husband. Like he was trying to go out with me while I was pregnant, but I wouldn't, like, he would bring me food and stuff, but I would never ever have sex with him. And after I had my baby or whatever, like he started coming around a little more. I gave him a chance, and he was cool. He like he always said that he would take care of me and my baby and stuff like that. But of course, he was much older. I think he was about 7.5, 8 years older than me. So, which he lied about his age, but yeah, he was coming around during that time, and then we took a break. Because he was dealing with another lady that actually lived right around the street from me, and they had a relationship or whatever, and after a while of giving him his space and stuff, we did start to see each other again, and I think that was the first person that when I say in love, I think that was the first person that I ever was in love with. Like he was my first person that I ever fell in love with. So we kind of like, back then, or even now, we say mess around, or however, when somebody is in a relationship with somebody and you on the side, you say mess around. So I would say we messed around for some years, like maybe like 2 years, I want to say. We messed around for about 2 years while he was in a relationship. I've even had, like, I had went to her house before, yeah, I had went to her house before, and she's come to my house before. I went to her house looking for him. She came to my house looking for him, and that's just what it was. It was, we went through a lot. We eventually, him and I, they had broken up, and me and him was together in a relationship. We moved in together. I like to be totally honest, because back then I feel like, when he came into my life, and he basically saved me, and he saved me from the streets. He saved me from a lot of things that I could have gotten into. being a young girl, just out there not having that guidance. And you know, even though I went through a lot in that relationship or whatever, like during that time, being that I was so much in love with him, like it was like anything that he said went. Like I actually stopped hanging out with my friends as much as I used to. Like I was, and him being so much older than me, it was like I had to grow up so fast. So it's like I'm trying to do everything to please this man. I'm trying to be older than what I really was. I'm trying to move how I need to move to match him, to match, you know, what he want as in a woman, you know. But I always tell people, like, he raised me, because during the most valuable time of my life, like 15, 16 years old, you know, this man was right there with me every step of the way, like helping me with my baby that wasn't even his, put me in a house, you know. This was things that, you know, like my you know, like I would have expected, like, for my dad to do. But I think, like, my dad had just gotten to the point to where, like, he was just like, let us do what we wanted to do. Like, you know, like you know, he wasn't that type of father to come and say, no, you're not gonna do this, you coming home, you're not gonna be, you're a minor, you're gonna bring your behind home, you're not gonna do that. He wasn't that type of father. So now I'm with a you know, a guy that's, you know, basically taking on a role practically like my father and my man at the time. And you know, it was good. We had great times. Like I can't, I mean, when it was good, it was good. When it wasn't, it just wasn't. And then I had gotten pregnant with my first child for my ex-husband. And we was going through a lot. It was a lot of cheating and infidelity going on in the relationship, and I left and I moved out of town. Now, I had told him that I was going to get an abortion, but I really didn't. So once I started back communicating with him over the phone, and you know, he you know, had found out that I was having a baby and stuff, like we were trying to rekindle things, and he actually asked me to marry him over the phone. So he never got down on one knee or anything like that. And to be honest with y'all, I was not thinking about marriage. Like, I was not thinking about getting married at all. I didn't have that. That was the farthest thing from my mind. So when he asked me, you know, I just, you know, I said yes.